Well, silkscreen printing is a process used on clothing for advertising and more. So this morning, Ansley Watson is learning what it takes to get an image printed on an object. Nice shirt. Good morning, Ansley.
Right, good morning. The process it takes to get an image from a piece of paper, just pretend that there is an image here, and then print it on your t-shirt, that is quite the process. It is for sure a job. I'm standing inside of the Screen Image where they do silk screen printing, and of course they do the famous Someplace Special t-shirts, which later in the hour we will be printing. Well, they're working on hundreds of them right now as we speak. But later in the hour we will talk more about that, and also the paint that they use. It is quite permanent. So I'm going to step away. I won't touch it, but stay with us. Well, more later in the hour. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
Okay, thank you very much, Ansley. The way she said that, it was almost like, well, maybe I'll just dip my finger in here.
Yeah, dip her hands in the blue. She'd be part of the Blue Man crew.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we're the Screened Image in Marquette prints images on clothing using a silk screen process. Ansley Watson is there now to show us how this process is done. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. Yeah, we're going to check out how these really cool t-shirts are made. Lori Hayes is joining me this morning. She's the owner of the Screened Image. Good morning.
Good morning.
So like I was saying earlier, this is more of a process than I think most people realize.
Oh, yeah.
Screen printing.
It's pretty much hand done right from the beginning, you know.
So, what do we have over here? This is kind of the beginnings of printing?
Yeah, we'll get the artwork many times over the computer. We'll be getting their artwork off the computer. And it comes to the machine like this, where the artwork is actually exposed onto the screen. So there's the machine when it's on exposing one of the screens, and kind of looks like all this artwork here that would end up being on a screen. So it kind of starts with the stencil. Everything black kind of washes out of your stencil, so that's where the ink is applied. So,
well, let's go on down to the retail area here.
Yeah.
So when people send you these images, well, first of all, if they send you a little sketch, are you able to print exactly what they send you, or do you have to critique that somewhat?
Yeah, we have to take their sketch and actually turn it into something that's going to be okay for a screen print. And this is a good example of it, the Marquette Alger Young Authors Group. Each one of these came from a child's drawing.
Oh, how
so
cool.
We had to take they came over as individual pieces of artwork, and we had to clean them up and get them to look a little bit more consistent amongst each other. But what makes this nice is it's their artwork, so they have the emotional attachment to the shirt already because it's their stuff. And then we create this vellum page that comes off of the computer, which is very much nicer than working in a darkroom like it was for 100 years before. And eventually it comes out like this onto the shirt, and we're going to talk more about that process of how it gets to this. But I just wanted to show how your raw artwork comes over to me, or I'm creating your artwork for you. And then there's a lot of steps between here and here on deciding size and everything like that. And the customer is right there with all that information for me. So I'm just following what they tell me to do.
How easy is it for somebody, say an individual or even a company, to order from you? Like, do they have to order one? Do they have to order multiples?
No, we have no minimums, and it's a very easy process. Either you call us on the telephone and we get your ideas and we give you a time frame that we're going to work with. It's normally a 10 to 14 day turnaround. You're not waiting any longer than 14 days for your final product. So there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. In between that, we have the customer making all those decisions, and they have hands-on during all that process. They can say a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. I want it on the front. Can you do something on the sleeve? Can you add another print on the back? These are all things that we're all working out during that 10 to 14 day time, which I feel like it's an easy process, and we're going to take you through it from working with our catalog or any number of our catalogs here, and we'll even order you products as a sample so you can take a look at your product before it's even printed. And you know, we find that throughout the years people have really kind of liked this process because they are in charge of it.
They're on hand with you.
Yes.
They can tell you what they want, what they
Yes.
don't like, and you'll change it.
Yeah, well, and they even come in and watch me print it in the end and get involved with like the mixing of the inks, what colors. I mean, there's subtle things that can happen that really, it makes them part of the process, and they're passionate about what they're doing. So
absolutely.
So and they want their business, their school, or their organization to look the best. So they get a lot of opportunities to do that. And we like working with the customers on that. It's not our stuff, it's their stuff. So we want them to be totally happy with what they get. And these are some samples of things that we've done throughout the years. Hiawatha from the beginning, at UP 200 from the beginning, and businesses and organizations. So.
Well, our next question, which we'll answer later in the hour, is how you get it on the shirt, and we're going to be showing that process later in the hour. Stay with us. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley. And as we're starting up the day, you know, t-shirt weather, it's getting here closer.
If you want a customized silk screen t-shirt, there's a specific process that has to be done first. Ansley joins us behind the scenes in silk screen printing at the Screened Image on Washington Street in downtown Marquette. Good morning again, Ansley.
Don't tell anybody we did it that fast.
Good morning, Andrew. We are going to be making some someplace special t-shirts. Isn't that right, Larry?
That's right.
This is a very interesting process. I've definitely been educated this morning for sure. How did you get into silk screening?
Well, I went to Northern. I have a couple art degrees from Northern, and I was so interested in art. And then my friend was working in his basement with some screen printing, and he gave me an opportunity. He said, do you want to come and see if you want to do some of this when I graduated from Northern? I said, sure, I'll give it a try, and that was 31 years ago.
Way to say yes. Good for you. And whenever I think of this whole printing process, I think of one image and just plopping on a t-shirt, you're good to go. It is not like that at all. Kind of walk us through the process.
Okay, so we're going to do a 6-color job for you right now. So each color goes down individually, and you're watching the purple go down right now. And when that comes up, there are 3 other colors that were put down individually, just like that. So now here comes the orange, and that's going to go down. And the other colors were just flash cured just a little bit so they don't run into each other and we don't have any smearing of the inks.
This is so precise.
And then it goes under an automated heater that just kind of gives it a little dry. This is dry to the touch right now. So when the green comes down, it keeps it nice and clean, and everything is lined up perfect, and voila. There is what you're going to see here in a second is the green finishing that shirt. Amy will pull that off here.
Amy, that looks awesome.
Now that gets cured at about 320 some odd degrees. And
way to model.
And once she sends it through that dryer right there, it'll come out the other side. It changes the molecular structure of the ink from a liquid to a solid. It's bonding with the material, and it's on there forever.
Yeah, you said this is very permanent.
Very permanent. We can't get it off, no matter how much we try. We certainly have made a mistake or had something happen where we want to get the ink off, and we can't get it off. It's just on there forever. So that's great for the customer because you want to know that your product is going to last. When it's your logo, when it's your school's logo, when it's your group, something that you want to keep forever, you want to make sure it's done with ink because ink is permanent. Iron-ons are not permanent. If you get an iron-on, you can pretty much say to yourself, this may fall apart. This screen printing stuff, this doesn't fall apart. These shirts are going to be the same 20 years from now. And we've been printing these shirts for about 25 years.
They're pretty popular, I must say.
Yeah, this is the biggest one out there. I got to say that too. It's been a pleasure being part of this whole process with TV6 over the years and coming up with this wonderful product that is just lasted through the time and through the ages. And right now we're doing hundreds of these for the TV station. It might take us
how long would it take you?
Maybe a day or two to go through these, and but to get to this point, it's a really simple process of just eliminating some ideas and coming up with an idea and getting your questions solved, and then boom, we're printing and you have your product back within 14 days of you placing your order. So it's kind of nice.
And these screens, I'm guessing, so like this is all covered, obviously. Paint's not going to get through that part.
Right.
It's just that open area.
We make a stencil, and this is film, and it will get exposed, and we expose it at a certain time in that machine that I showed you a little earlier in the day. And this was the piece of art that was black, and so that washes out and makes that stencil. And this is the way it's done across the United States in hundreds and hundreds of screen printing places. they're manufactured just like this. Unless you have a big hydraulic machine, you can get those, you know, you can buy into those for thousands and thousands of dollars, but you have to have the kinds of runs that require that kind of stuff. And so this is the way that it's done across the U.S. I like to say to people, come in and watch the artists that work here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll talk to you, we'll teach you about it, and you know, we just take pride in what we do. So please come and make your contacts and make your orders with us.
Well, thank you so much for teaching us this morning. It's been a great
Thank you.
morning.
Thank you so much for coming.
No problem. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.